Australia with kids. It is the best thing that I ever did with my family. It brought us closer together, and seeing and experiencing this amazing country of ours is sensational. So I encourage you to do it. Thank you for coming today, everybody. I'd like to also thank the Caravan and Camping Show for inviting me here to speak to you and hopefully encourage you to turn your dream into a plan. So, I'm going to speak to you today for the first 15 to 20 minutes. It's actually going a bit longer as I'm getting more confidence in public speaking. So I'm just hoping you're all here today because you're interested or dreaming about travelling Australia with your kids, and I'm here to really encourage you to turn that dream into a plan. If you've got any questions afterwards, I'll be hanging around here afterwards for a little while, but I think I've covered most of our frequently asked questions. But do feel free to come and say hello, and there's a few bits and pieces you can pick up over there. It's a bit of a background. I'm from England. I first came to Australia when I was 22 years old and loved it. Backpacked around for a while, loved this country. So I kept coming back year after year, as often as I could afford to. And on one of those return trips, playing volleyball with some friends, missed the ball, hit this gorgeous man, 3 children and a mortgage later, here I still am. Back in 2010, we travelled around Australia with our 3 children, when the children were 6, 8 and 9. And we loved it. My husband worked a little bit on the way and I educated our 3 children. But when we first started planning, there wasn't any real information that I could find from real families with real information what it's really like out on the road. So when I got back, I decided to do it. I run Travelling Australia with Kids, the website. I encourage you to go and have a look. Most of what I'm going to speak to you about today is on there. And we've also got the Facebook page, and there's a real community out there of travelling families, and that's what we've created, a community. There's past talkers, that's me, there's present talkers and hopefully future talkers. I call them talkers rather than keep saying Travelling Australia with Kids. Now I've pinned to the top of my Facebook page at the moment I've asked all our talking families to post their Facebook pages up there. So if you go to our Facebook page, you'll find them pinned to the top. Have a look. If there's 3 boys from the age as yours, I'll start following that family, see what it's like, join the community, message them, find out. It's a real community for you. Are there any talkers here today? Talkers? Where are you from? Victoria? Been on the road long? 10 months. Hopefully you can come and help me afterwards to answer people's questions. For everyone else, today's the first day of your plan, so don't just dream it anymore, you need to plan it. Now how do you plan it? Where do you start? You start by making the decision. And as my husband always says, the decision is the hardest part. Once you make that decision, everything falls into place. There's a few things to consider, and I'll go into that a bit later, but we made our decision after a close friend of ours was diagnosed with a terminal illness. And we both thought, what are we waiting for? We keep saying we're going to do it later. Time's ticking. We don't know what's around the corner. And it made us realise that we need to do this now. So we made the decision. We said, right, let's do this. And then we thought, oh, hang on a minute, how can we afford it? Who's going to school the children? That would be me. And we didn't even have a tent, let alone a caravan, so what do you do? But 6 months later, we were on the road, and it was that decision that was made, and everything fell into place. When is the best time to go with your children? How long for? I would say go as soon as you can for as long as you can, because those children grow up, and it might be too late. Keep saying later. So go as soon as you can. But there are some considerations to think about, and I break them down into 3 brackets, and it all involves around schooling. Your preschoolers, your primary schoolers, and your high schoolers. So let's touch base on some of those. If you're going to preschool age bracket, no schooling. And you'll find a lot of the great travelling families out there tripping a van one day. We should have all got pre-primary children. So it's a good age to go because there's not that schooling to be considering every day. Much of the learning at that age is through play, and what better playgrounds do we have than Australia? They might not remember everything, but you will remember everything. You'll show them photos, you'll show them videos, and it will become part of who they are as young people. Toddlers are also quite cheap to travel in. There's many of the attractions at this point are free if they're pretty small. Primary school kids. This could seem like a good option because schooling is manageable. You still pretty much understand it. But again, lots of learning will be done on the road. And they still want to be with you at this time, and there's a good chance they're going to remember the trip. So that's a good age. We often do a survey on our Talking Facebook page. What's the average age of your child, or what are the ages? And then we work at the averages, and the average age of a talking child for the last 2 years has been 8 years old. So most families do travel around that primary school age. High school children. Tricky age is not only the schooling is a lot more intense, they might have exams, and you probably don't well, I certainly couldn't teach my teenagers, not a chance. You might not understand it. But you can, if it's a choice of not going or taking them at teenagers, I'd still say go. Because I've known families that have taken their children, and they thought it at first, but with some of them, their children are still travelling and the parents have gone home with their younger siblings. So, still go. The quality time you will spend as a family will be unbelievable, especially if you or your partner have been working a lot and not spending as much time as you'd hoped for. So, I'd just say, just think about it, get your plan going and do it. But, finances, can you afford it? And I believe it's one of those things that I relate to children. Can you afford children? If you saw how much it costs for you to have children, you'd be saying, well, we definitely can't do that. But you do have them, and you make it work. And that's the same with talking. You can do this, and you can make it work. And don't forget, a lot of the expenses that you will have are the same if you were travelling or not. You're still going to eat. You're still going to pay for some accommodation, whether you be free camping, because a lot of free camping isn't free. You'll still have to pay. National parks you'll have to pay. And you pay for mortgage or rent at home. So you still have to pay. So just bear that in mind. We do have a finance tracker on our website, and you can put in some figures and roughly how long you think you're going to be on the road and where you might stay and your percentage of free camp versus caravan parks, and it'll give you a rough idea of how much you might spend. Again, we often put out to our talkers, how much do you spend per week? And the average is $1,000 a week. Some are a lot cheaper. But it depends what you want to do. It depends, this is a once-in-a-lifetime trip. Do you want to swim with the whale sharks? Do you want to fly over Kakadu? Are you going to spend some money on a helicopter ride over the Bungle? What do you want to do? And that's your normal life anyway. Some you do more things than other families. So you'll work out a way. So we were around the $1,000 mark. So that's roughly where most people would be. A lot of families are choosing to sell their home, and others, like us, we rented ours out, and some of that money went towards our trip. Others save like mad for a couple of years and go, and others leave with little, but work along the way. But they're all making it work. So that's what I want to encourage you to do. Make it work for your family. Find out, you can do this. We also, as I say, with our $1,000, we did fly over Kakadu. Now, what do you want to travelling? Again, first of all, you're in the best place to have a look at what might suit your family, and that's what you've got to do. What suits your family? And how long do you intend to be on the road? I could tent for 2 months. Would I want to do it for a year? Probably not. But some do, and that might be you. So work out, do you want an ensuite? Is that important? Do you want to go off-road? Really remote? You've got to work out what you want to do. One thing I would suggest is hire something for a while. There's lots of peer-to-peer in most things at the moment, but there's also lots of peer-to-peer sharing sites in the caravan industry where other families are renting out to other families. So you can borrow one and have a look, see if it suits you. That's what we did. We borrowed one from one of our friends actually, so we didn't have to hire one. So if you haven't got a friend, there's options. But we borrowed one of those camper trailers that pop out each side with the beds and popped up. We thought that's perfect, easy to tow, and then we did it for 2 weeks. And we realised that for the trip we envisaged, we did not want to be packing it all down, packing it all out every day. It was just, it probably would have got easier, but it wasn't something we wanted to do. So that's what, hiring or borrowing can help you sort out in your mind what you think would work for you. We ended up choosing a full van, and it was a second-hand one of that, because we didn't have the finances that made us be able to buy one of these beautiful ones here today. It's funny actually, one of our friends said to us, there's a van around the corner from you for sale. Oh, okay. $8,000. Okay. We went to have a look at this van. 3 bunks down that side. We walked in and our van was up in the wall, and I haven't seen many that do this anymore, but it meant there was this big area during the day that we could utilise as a family. So I looked at my husband and he looked at me and we were both like, hang on, this might work. So while I was investigating the oven and the fridge, he was underneath checking out, I don't know, safety things. And he said to me, I think this is a great van. He said, I'm going to offer them $6,000, probably going to get it for about 7.5. Is that okay? I said, yep, if that's what you think. So he did, he went to the man and said, look, we didn't intend to buy one today, which we didn't, but I'd like to offer you $6,000 if you think about that. Expecting him to come back with, well, no. The guy said, absolutely, you seem like a really good family, you're doing what we did all those years ago, I'll throw in the annex and the generator. My husband just about counter-offered himself. We bought it then and there. And this second-hand van did 2 years on the road at $6,000, and we've still got it today. We've had to make a few little amendments along the way, and he did put in something, he spent about $1,000 making it safe, but we bought it. So there's options for you. If you do decide to buy one of these beautiful vans out here today, don't forget you can sell it when you get back. So it might be a $50,000 outlay. You might get back and sell it for 40. It still cost you 10,000, but in the scheme of things, it could be affordable. So do consider that. There are always options. Next question, schooling. I'm going to take a drink, even though it's only water for this one.